Hello, I'm Brian and I'm the Theoretical Gamer. Tonight I'm going to give you another of my obscure game reviews. Now, I am sure you've all heard of the Cortex system by Margaret Weis Games. They've done various games. Margaret Weis Games is very big on licensed properties. They've done the TV show Leverage. They've done Smallville. They've done. I think they did. I think it was Fire. I think it was Serenity. I think they did. They've done the new Marvel game. Very big on licensed properties, and they do it well. Cortex system is an interesting and not a bad system from what I've seen. However, very few of you have probably heard of the Demon Hunters role-playing game. Using the Cortex system by Margaret Weis Games. You see, the Demon Hunters system is kind of like, the vibe I get, it's kind of like the embarrassing bastard child that Margaret Weis Productions keeps under the stairwell and is told to stay there and not come out when decent company comes over. They're just weird and embarrassing, and they're also awesome. Now, what is Demon Hunters? Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Dead Gentleman Productions. They've done The Gamers Dorkness Rising, the new Gamers Hands of Fate. And they've also did a web series called Journey Quest. They are pretty well known in gamer circles. But long ago, before any of that, they did Demon Hunters. Basically, go back and watch the first Demon Hunters movie. It's crap. It's occasionally hilarious crap, but it was very, very obvious a low-budget student film. And there's a lot of gags in there that strike me as inside jokes that only people who went to that college were meant to get. The actors in many cases were whatever students or friends they could find. There's no real special effects. There's no real, and it basically revolves around an ancient and powerful demon getting loose on a college campus, but for various metaphysical reasons is trapped on the campus and cannot leave until it kills a certain amount of people. A group of demon hunters, which belong to a secret organization of demon hunters, are called in to kill the demon. And basically that's what happens. That's the story. Then, shortly after, they decided they wanted to do a sequel. They created a sequel called Demon Hunters Dead Camper Lake, in which the head of the Demon Hunters team, who was the only survivor really, and a new recruit that he had picked up in the first movie, go to their secret base on Dead Camper Lake to help him recruit a new team of demon hunters. And during the course of this, they end up uncovering corruption at the highest level of the Demon Hunters organization. Now, Demon Hunters Dead Camper Lake was better, but it still had a very college vibe. There were some jokes, there were some concepts that were rather very clever, even brilliant, and there were some jokes that were hilarious. But for the most part, it has a very collegey feel, and it's not bad. It's actually that I would recommend it if you're able to look past the B-movie vibe, or if you're a fan of the old Mystery Science Theater 3000 show, you might like it because of the B-movie vibe. They're obviously labors of love, and they put their heart into them, and the cleverness and the good writing that you saw in their later stuff is very much in evidence. So at some point they hooked up with Margaret Weis Productions and created a role-playing game set in the Demon Hunters universe. Now, because I don't think they ever really left that universe behind mentally. They always wanted to get back to it. The second movie ended on a big cliffhanger. They were going to make a third one, and they never did. So it's been like over a decade now, and we're pretty much given up on seeing Demon Hunters 3. But we have Demon Hunters, the role-playing game. Now, What does Demon Hunters, the role-playing game, have? For one thing, a DVD. It comes with an orientation video that... So yeah, how many licensed games have an orientation video made by the creators? Dead Gentleman Productions created an orientation video for Demon Hunters, including some of the original actors. And some of the original characters have been revised and replaced by different actors who were, let's be honest, actual actors. So what is it? Your characters are basically new recruits, fairly low-level recruits of the Brotherhood of the Celestial Torch, also known as Demon Hunters, who are, it's kind of a quasi-religious organization, but who hunt demons and vampires and monsters and werewolves and all the other sort of things. You can play supernatural creatures who have been recruited by the Demon Hunters, who will be basically kept on close watch. But, you know, as long as they stay good. The setting, it's, okay, let me tell you a little bit of mechanics, things that I think are interesting. Skills. You basically are assigned dice. Like, if you have a skill at the basic level, it's a D2, which basically is a coin flip. Then you go up to D4, D6, blah, blah, blah. Then D12 plus D2, D12 plus D4. You know, you can continue the progression. But D12 is like pretty much, I think, the practical maximum in some cases, but you can go higher. But it has an interesting concept, which I see it as a tree branching. At the lowest levels, D2, D4, and D6, you have to buy the general skill, like guns. However, if you want to specialize, if you want to go past that, you have to specialize in, say, pistols or rifles or submachine guns. So let's say you want to be an expert rifleman, right? Well, you buy regular guns up to D6 and then buy rifle at D8, D10, etc. Which means then if you want to buy pistols, you can go back down to the D6 and buy pistol up to D8, creating another branch. It's an interesting way to do it, right? You have all sorts of, basically you have the merits and flaws system, where they're called assets and complications. A lot of them are the famous ones that appear in most games of this sort, and sometimes they have funny ways of expressing them. But some of the bonuses you can get are kind of interesting. Like, one of the themes of the game is that it's not actually a game, it's a training manual to create tabletop simulations for new recruits. And the idea is you have metagame awareness is one of the abilities you can have. Basically, you can buy a merit that allows your character to know that he is a character in a role-playing game and therefore act on out-of-character knowledge. So, yeah, it's like it does have a weird humor to it. Spoiler alert, there was a character in Demon Hunters called Silent Jim. He died at near the end of the first movie. However, when our heroes got to Dead Camper Lake in the second movie, they encountered Silent Jim again, very much alive. Marveling at the fact that he was still alive and just goggling and saying, "Why are you alive? We saw you die." He simply looks at them and says, "I exist outside of time." And they go, "Cool." And no more is said on the matter. Well, you can buy the merit, exists outside of time. Now, one interesting aspect about it is you cannot buy exists outside of time at character generation. You cannot buy it while you're playing. You can only buy it if you die and have enough experience points banked to buy it at that moment. If you die and you have enough banked experience, you can buy exists outside of time and come back to life. And, and give your friends a weird half-assed explanation as to why you're suddenly not dead. Of course, once you die again, you can't buy it again, but you can make a roll each time you die to come back. Doesn't always work. Another good merit is mad skills. When they first started creating the game, obviously you can take skills like science or technology and blah blah blah. And someone says, well, we want mad scientists. We want people who can create stuff outside the bounds of normal science. Okay, give a special merit for that. Well, they did something creative. They expanded it that you can buy mad skills. You can apply the mad descriptor to any skill if you buy that merit. So you could be a mad scientist, or you could be a mad martial artist, or a mad athlete, or a mad seducer, or like a mad rifleman. And literally, you can do impossible things that a normal person wouldn't be able to do. You can stretch the bounds of logic and reality when in the things that you attempt to do. And it's really an interesting exercise in creativity. Now, it is technically a humor game, but I did a video previously on humor games where you run it like a serious game and just let the humor arise naturally. It is a dark humor. Your character may die. He probably will. It's a dangerous job. You bring in the next character. But, you can have some laughs along the way. You can go out in a spectacular and funny manner. All in all, I think it's interesting. And I would recommend anyone take a look at it. Demon Hunters, the role-playing game, Margaret Weis Productions. Thank you very much.